to people who are coming in. MashaAllah, we've been filling up every night, so it makes it easy for everyone to come in. So if there's open seats to your right, please kindly just shift over and fill in those seats. Salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. And as for those who strive hard for us, we will most certainly guide them in our ways. And Allah is most surely with the doers of good. It's from the Holy Quran, chapter 29, ayah 69. And this refers to jihad, the struggle, the strive that we do towards the pleasure of Allah. It's essentially why we are here, to remember and commemorate the struggles of the Ahlul Bayt, of Abu Abdullah and his family and companions. They struggled in many ways. They struggled their whole lives doing Jihad al-Akbar, and they struggled and strove with their lives on the day of Ashura. Even individuals like Hur, which we all know his story, had a huge internal struggle where he would strive towards Allah and had to make a life-changing decision. Many of us, I'm sure at some time in our lives, have wished we were with Abu Abdullah, where we would be given that opportunity to strive and struggle alongside him. We all have opportunities in our lives to do that every day. So don't despair, because even though we weren't in Karbala, we are in Karbala. As Imam Jafar Sadiq said, every day is Ashura, every land is Karbala. So we have this opportunity to struggle and strive every day. And so let's take an opportunity to do that and use these nights as reminders. So I say this to you because, as you know, there are many ways in which we can strive towards Allah. One of them is personally, through our personal struggles and our self-improvement, and others are through ways of improving the environment around us, the community around us. And so as we build this community, I beseech you and ask you to participate in this struggle and in this jihad financially. This is an opportunity that you have, and that we all have. And I promise you, for those of you who have been contributing to this center and to the growth and to the land that we're seeking to purchase, we've been fundraising for a little while now. We have, alhamdulillah, raised approximately 2/3 of our goal of $950,000. Salawat. And that is due to your generous donations. But because you've given once, don't be afraid to donate again. I promise you, you won't go hungry. I promise you, you're going to live pretty much the same lives that you live. And Allah promises that whatever you give in His way, that He'll give that back to you multifold. So don't be afraid. With that, I would like to say that I will make a pledge tonight, filling one of these forms. Later you'll have opportunities. If you filled one, fill one again. Don't be intimidated by the 5,000 and the 3,000. Whatever you're able to give, Allah knows what's in your heart and Allah knows what's in your wallet and what's in your bank accounts. Whatever you can do, then give. Fi sabilillah. So take this opportunity and do it in the name of Hussein. We have an opportunity to build something where we can remember the message of Hussein, where our children can remember the message of Hussein, and we can live the message of Hussein, and don't make it just a ritual where we come here, we listen to the majalis, we do our latmiya, and we go home. Right? This is a way of life, and we have to invest in our future. So as you listen to the majalis of Imam Hussein, think about it, let it sink in your hearts, and inshallah, be generous, and then we can grow together. So with that being said, I'd like to invite Sayyid Saleh to begin the majlis with a loud salawat.
اللهم صل على محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين، حبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين. صلى الله عليك يا رسول الله، صلى الله عليك وعلى أهل بيتك المظلومين. صلى الله عليك يا أبا عبد الله، يا رحمة الله الواسعة ويا باب نجاة الأمة. يا ليتنا كنا معكم سادتي فنفوز فوزا عظيما. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ومن آياته أن خلق لكم من أنفسكم أزواجا لتسكنوا إليها وجعل بينكم مودة ورحمة إن في ذلك لآيات لقوم يتفكرون. For the love of Aba Abdullah al-Hussein, صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the creator, and Allah has created this universe and everything within it in the most perfect form. لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي أَحْسَنِ تَقْوِيمٍ. This universe around us is full of systems that are all functioning with precision, with accuracy, with perfection, so that you and I can live comfortable lives. You see, there is the solar system. There is the system of the air, the clouds, the rain, the food that we eat. Everything in this universe is all synchronized, working together in cohesion so that we can live comfortable lives. Imagine if this earth was warmer than it's supposed to be. We would not be able to survive. Imagine if this earth was colder than it's supposed to be, colder than what we can tolerate. We would not be able to survive. Within the human body, there are thousands of functioning parts, millions and billions of functioning parts, so that we can live and we can grow and our body could be healthy and comfortable. You know, your liver, it filters 250 gallons of blood within 24 hours. There's a machine that is working within every single one of us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created this and we don't even realize it. Your heart, it beats over 100,000 times within a 24 hours. Do we have control of it? No. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made all of these systems work. You have your digestive system, you have your respiratory system, you have all of these systems that are functioning within the human body, within the environment around us, so that we could be comfortable. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala addresses these within the Quran as the signs of God, the ayat of Allah, the signs that should lead us back to acknowledging that all of these systems, they have one programmer, and that is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. From amongst the great miracles of God that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala points out in the Quran is the miracle of creation. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created the human being in pairs. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created you in azwaj, in pairs. You have the male and the female. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala addresses this in the Quran. وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ, and from amongst the signs of God, وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُمْ مِنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَاتٍ لِقَوْمٍ يَتَفَكَّرُونَ. And from amongst the signs of God is that He created you in pairs, so that you may complete one another, so that you may please one another, so that you may be there to complete one another's needs, the social, the psychological, the emotional, and the physical needs of each other. They're completed through the fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created the human being in pairs. لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً. Now, my dear brothers and sisters, when we address this issue, the issue of the male and the female and marriage and reproduction, this brings us to the subject of marriage. And this is a touchy subject for some people because everyone at some point in their life, they are thinking of marriage. They're thinking of growing their family. Or when you become a parent, you start thinking for your children. You start thinking for your grandchildren, and you want to see the growth of your family. So this is a topic that is perhaps on everyone's mind at some time in their life. So now there are several questions that inshallah we will try to address. The first is, when is the best time to get married? This is a question that some of the youth goes through their mind, because after all, our body is made in a way where at some point in your life, your body starts sending you messages that now I'm hungry, now I need, now it's time to get married. Just like your stomach tells you I'm hungry, you have desires that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created within every single one of us. So there's a need. So when is the best time? When is the perfect time to address this need that humans have? When is the best time to get married? This is one question. And the second question that we will try to address is, okay, now I've realized I need to get married and this is the time. Who should I marry? This is also one question that creates a lot of anxiety and stress with many people. Subhanallah, the population of humanity, of people on earth is increasing day after day, but it seems like the list of people that you could marry is getting smaller and smaller day after day. This is one. And the third point is my marriage predestined? Today there are some people, they're unable to get married. Or there are some people that are not married. Or some people, they did get married, but they might have married the wrong person. They feel like they're not with the right partner. They feel like they're not happy in their marriage. Did God do this to me? Did God predestine this for me? Because whenever we talk about marriage, people use these words, qisma and nasib. meaning that this is what God has destined for you. It's whatever your Lord has destined for you, and you just have to live through it. So inshallah, we will try to address these questions. ببركة الصلاة على محمد وآل محمد. صلي على محمد. The first question, my dear brothers and sisters, is when is the best time to get married? You find some parents, they look at their youth, they look at their kids, and they say, should I tell him now? Should I tell her now? Or you find some youth who are growing older and older, and they don't know when should they make that decision? When should they pop the question? When is the time to address this issue? And this is a serious issue that some people have. And in fact, today we are living in a society, we're living in a time where marriage is slowly being delayed. Today, according to the Pew Research, it shows that 1/4 of those who are 40 years old, meaning 25% of 40-year-olds, are not married right now. Up to the age 40, 25% of those who are 40, they're not married right now. While in 1980, about 40 years ago, 1980, only 6% of those who were 40 years old were not married. So what does this show you? This shows you that there is a trajectory. This shows you that there's a pattern, that there is a delaying in marriage, and people are getting older and older, and marriage is being delayed. Now, is this a healthy thing? Is this healthy for society? Is this healthy for a community? Yes, marriage is a personal choice. However, when we come and we look at it, we see that this is catastrophic for society. This is detrimental for society. Today, there's over 1.2 million people in prison in the United States of America. And according to studies, 12% of those who are imprisoned as a result of sexual related crimes. What does this mean? This means that people are delaying this need that is there, that everyone has this need. It's being delayed, and they're trying to satisfy it, and they're trying to please it outside the realms of marriage, and then you have problems that emerge. Then you have the Me Too movement. Then you have sexual assault. Then you have a lot of these issues that we are constantly hearing about in society and in our communities. So, what does Islam say about marriage? Does Islam encourage early marriage, or does Islam delay marriage? Well, as I mentioned, marriage is a personal choice. At the end of the day, it's your choice. You have to make the decision to get married whenever you want to get married. However, from an Islamic perspective, marriage is highly recommended. Marriage is considered to be the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. There were individuals during the life of the Prophet, they would not get married. They would say, we want to live like those monks, like those individuals who are the ruhbaniyah, meaning we want to be connected with God. We don't want to have any desires. We don't want to have anything in this life that distracts us away from God. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam told them, that is not how you live your life. You want to be a Muslim? Then you have to fulfill and you have to give your body the desires that it is asking for. Have you seen someone come and say, I'm never going to eat in my life? No, because you need it. This is a need that you have. Yes, the religion of Islam and the Quran and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it doesn't come and tell us don't eat. The religion of Islam comes and tells us how to control what we eat, to put a perimeter. Eat this and don't eat that. This is how you live a healthy life. This is the tayyib, this is the halal, this is what's good for you, and refrain from something that is bad for you. And similarly, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to marriage, when it comes to pleasing the desire that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created with us, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't tell us don't talk about this and this is something that you should ignore and you should not have. No. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala just says, you need to put a perimeter around it. You need to protect yourself. You need to protect your chastity and your modesty, and you do it in the right way. And then you will have a healthy society. Then you will have a society where everyone is protected. This is why Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi, he says in his hadith, الزواج سنتي فمن رغب عن سنتي فليس مني. Marriage is my sunnah, it's my tradition. Whoever rejects my tradition is not a part of me. In another hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi says, المتزوج النائم أفضل عند الله من الصائم القائم العزب. The person who's married and they're sleeping in bed and they're dreaming, this person is closer to Allah than the one who is fasting and praying the midnight prayer and not married. In another hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi says, ركعتان يصليها متزوج أفضل من 70 ركعة يصليها أعزب. 2 rak'ahs a married person prays, this is better in the eyes of Allah than 70 rak'ahs of someone who is a'zab, someone who is single and not married. Now, a while ago, a young man comes up to me and he tells me, Sayyid, I think I figured out why there's so much of these narrations insisting on marriage and insisting on the importance of marriage and how much thawab you get. Because I recently got married and I realized how much of a headache it is. So therefore, God is trying to compensate us. Allah is trying to reward us. I told him, listen, the same goes to your wife. She gets the thawab too. So it's a win-win situation. The reality of the matter, my dear brothers and sisters, is that when we are talking about these narrations, we have to contextualize them. Some people, they come and they say, what is this? You know, I'm single, but someone who's married, they get 70 times the reward that I get. This is not fair. Well, this is not talking about someone who is striving and trying to get married. This is talking about someone who has the lifestyle of, I don't need to get married. And there are some people like that. There are some people, they have the money, they have the finances, they have the house, they have the cars, they have everything that they need, but they try to avoid this question. Why? Because they come and they say, I don't want to be attached. I want to have fun. I want to enjoy my life. The moment I get married, then that means I'm going to be controlled and do this and do that and live your life in one particular way. Now, yes, I know someone who is very capable of getting married, but he chooses not to get married, and naturally, every once in a while, he falls in haram. But for him, it's not a big deal. Falling in haram is not a big deal. Whereas from an Islamic perspective, falling in haram is a big deal. And marriage is the immunity. Marriage is the vaccine shot that's going to protect you from falling in the haram. Marriage is what's going to not only protect you, but protect society as a whole. And this is why it is very recommended from an Islamic perspective. Now, another point to address is that these narrations, the narrations that talk about marriage and how rewarding it is, of course, we have to understand and we have to be realistic that there was a time in the past when marriage used to be very easy. Now marriage is not so easy. Now marriage is very expensive. You want to get married, you have to spend at least $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 in just one night in the wedding. Of course, this isn't mentioned in the Quran. This is culture. People, they did this to themselves. And this is what's causing marriage to be very difficult. And this is what's causing hurdles to be there for marriage and building the family. Today, yes, it is very true that the process of getting married has become much more difficult than it's supposed to be, than it's intended to be. Marriage is not supposed to be something difficult, but we have created hurdles. We have created obstacles. We've created norms. You have to do this, and she has to dress this way, and you have to get this picture, and you have to get these flowers, and you have to do that and that. Making it something that some people, they come and they say, listen, you know what? I can't handle this anxiety and stress in my life. Yes, it is true. There are some people right now, even though their body is telling them you need to get married, but they are going through certain circumstances in their life that they are unable to get married. Yes, a lot of people go through that. However, what is important is that you have to put yourself in the pathway to marriage. This is the difference between someone who is careless and doesn't care about building their future, about moving on to their next milestone in their life, and between someone who from a young age, they come and they start setting a plan for themselves. You know, just like in businesses, you have a 1-year plan, a 3-year plan, a 5-year plan. Even if right now you see that you cannot get married, maybe right now it's difficult, maybe you're in school, maybe you're going through certain issues in your life, but at least put yourself on the pathway to marriage, because then you will start living a very different life from the one who isn't planning on getting married. The one who is planning on getting married, you see they're going to spend their money much more wisely. They're going to know who they're hanging around with. They're going to be very careful in every decision and every detail that they make in their life. Today, some people, they're wasting their life hanging around with friends. And these friends, they're not going to make them better individuals, but they're just spending time day after day, month after month, year after year, and they're missing out on important milestones in their life, and they keep getting older and older, and they have not taken that valuable decision in life. So when is a person supposed to get married? From an Islamic perspective, it's up to you. You can decide when you want to get married. However, know this, that if you start falling in the haram, if a person starts doing haram and falling in the haram because they are not married, then marriage becomes wajib on them. Now you have to protect yourself. Now you have to protect yourself and protect your community and those who are around you. So this is the first point. The second point, my dear brothers and sisters, is who to get married to. And this is also a very major obstacle when you want to get married, when many people want to get married. In fact, it creates anxiety, it creates stress. People start looking at other people and they say, is this person going to match? Is this person going to fit for me? And it really creates a stressful situation for some people. I've talked to people. They sit and they say, no, this person doesn't work for me. This person doesn't work. And they keep, it creates a cycle of stress and anxiety for many people. And many times, rightfully so. Why? Because they go and they look at the divorce rate. They go and they look at their friends and their relatives and people who just spent $50,000 to $100,000 on a marriage, and then 6 months later they're getting divorced. Some people, they come and they say, no, you know what? This is not for me. This is too much of an expensive experiment. This is too much of an expensive investment. I don't want to risk it. This is one mindset that there are. And then there's also another group of people who are indecisive. And this is a type of illness. This is a type of mental health illness where some people, they're indecisive. Whatever you bring them, even with cereal, even with whatever they have, they can't make their mind. What shirt am I going to wear today? They keep trying on this shirt, and then they go and they try on the next shirt, and then they keep going back and forth. Make up your mind. You don't have that much time. This life, time is finishing. Time is running out. You're not supposed to waste your whole life being indecisive. Now, yes, when it comes to marriage, it's not like you're going to the store and you're picking out something. It's a major decision that you have in your life, but there is a way to get through this indecisiveness. Some people, you see them, every year you see them, you're not married? We prayed for you. Laylatul Qadr came, we did dua for you. Muharram came, we raised our hands, we did dua for you. The next year we did dua for you. What happened? Nothing? No, I still haven't found the right person. After a while, it proves that maybe I'm the problem. I'm sitting and pointing out my finger at everyone. Oh, this person's not good, this person's not good, this person's not good. If it takes such a long time, then maybe I'm the problem. Can it be that all of these millions of people that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created and no one is going to match? No one is going to be someone that is compatible with me? So here, there are three main questions. If you know someone or if you are going through these issues, three main questions that need to be addressed. You address these questions and inshallah you will find a solution. The first For those who come and say, you know, I'm waiting for the perfect man. I'm waiting for Prince Charming. Have you looked at yourself in the mirror? Have you looked at yourself? Man ahda ilayya uyubi. My best brother is the one who comes and tells me, listen, you also have problems. You're not perfect either. You have this issue here. You have this. Of course, it should be in a private way. It should be in a subtle way. It should be out of advice and out of love, not to come and call someone out. This is one point. Second, you want to get married. You want this perfect bride or you want the perfect husband. You're not in the perfect atmosphere. When every day you're hanging out in the hookah bar and you're listening to music, but you come and you want a girl that prays Salat al-Layl and is wearing perfect hijab. There's double standards. There's double standards. You're living your life in one way, but you want to find this partner that is totally perfect. Is this fair? Is this even fair for the other person? Or there are some ladies, they come and they say, I want someone who is pure, someone who has no relationships, someone who doesn't mingle and doesn't have these extra relationships. But the way that she's dressed is attracting those people, attracting those individuals that are the people that she does not want. This is the truth. So if we want to find the right person, then that means we have to change our atmosphere. We have to change perhaps our friends. We have to change the places that we hang out, the people that we associate with. And then we will probably be able to find someone. And the third question, the third point is that when you're looking to find someone, yes, you have a huge list of things, of demands that you want, but are they all at the same level? Of course not. There are certain things that are needs in life, and there are certain things that are wants in life. There are certain things that are priority, and there are certain things that come down in the list. If you're just going to say, oh, just because everything on this list does not match with the person I'm looking at, you're never going to find that person. You're never going to find that perfect person. What you're supposed to do is see what are the fundamentals, what are the important things on top of that list, and then you go and you try to look for that person that fits those things that are on top of the list. The priorities, the fundamentals, and that is iman. That is someone that will bring you closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Someone who you are compatible with, someone who you could get along with. These are the important things. But then there are other things that perhaps they could be secondary. Now, I'm not telling you make this choice and everyone, they make their own list. Everyone, you write your own list. You sit, take a paper and a pencil and write down what is the most important priority in a partner and go down. You make your own list. Some people, their lists are, everyone has their own list. Everyone has their own priority. But you need to pick that which is on top of the list. And this is how we function our lives. Right now, when you want to, for example, buy a house, you have several conditions that you want in a house. Many times, you're not going to find everything that you want in the house, but you're going to find the top 3, the top 5 things that you want in the house, and you say, okay, I'm going to go with this house. That's how humans work. That's how we function. When it comes to a career, you're never going to find that perfect job which you're living in the best city, there's no traffic, you're getting paid the best pay, and you're getting everything. You're never going to find that. But you come and you see, okay, what makes sense? I need to live here, I need to be here, and this is the job that suits me. And we make decisions based on circumstances. Same when it comes to marriage. I'm not saying throw the whole list out the window. No, I'm saying go and follow that which is prioritized in the list. If you don't, if some people, they keep living a picky lifestyle, they're always picky. They never want to pick someone. They're always afraid. They're always indecisive. You're going to keep getting older and older and older, and then you're going to end up hurting yourself. This is the reality. This is the reality. You end up hurting yourself. You end up harming yourself. And Islam is an easygoing religion. Islam tells you live your life with ease. It tries to bring rules and laws that make us live at peace. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has brought down the Quran and the message so that we live a comfortable life. This is the whole purpose of religion. But we come and we create obstacles, and we come and we make things so difficult for us. This was the second point. And the third point, my dear brothers and sisters, is my marriage predestined? Today, some people, they come and they say, I haven't found the partner. That means God hates me. That means God is doing this to me. That means God has predestined this for me. That same guy that we were talking about earlier, the one who has the money and the power, and is able to get married and chooses not to get married, you ask him, why are you not married? He says, if God wanted me to get married, I would have gotten married. This is how some people are. When things are going wrong in their life, when things are not going the way they're supposed to go, they come and they blame it on God. That's it. Right away, bring God. Bani Umayyah did the same thing. That same ideology, that same mentality was carried out by the Umayyads after killing Imam al-Hussein. They came and they said, if God wanted Imam al-Hussein to live, God would have made him live. God wants us to rule, therefore we are ruling. This is not fair. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, yes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sometimes placed us in certain circumstances. There are circumstances that are beyond my control. These type of things are predestined. I didn't choose which family I was born into. I didn't choose which location I was born into. I didn't choose certain things, the time that I was born. I didn't choose that. But at the end of the day, I make choices, and I am accountable for the choices that I make. If I want to come and say, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us and He forced everything upon us, then why would God punish us on the Day of Judgment? That means this is oppression. This is dhulm. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not do injustice. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you the choice. You have the choice to get married or not get married. You have the choice on who you want to get married to. One day a man comes to Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam and he tells him, Ya Aba Abdullah, my parents, they're telling me to marry one person and I want to marry another lady. Who should I marry? Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam tells him, marry the one you want to marry. The one you want to marry, that's the one that you have to marry. That's the one that you should marry. Because at the end of the day, it's your choice. It's your life. And you will determine how you live your life. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, إِنَّا هَدَيْنَاهُ السَّبِيلَ إِمَّا شَاكِرًا وَإِمَّا كَفُورًا. We have showed you the way. You could decide. You could decide to believe or not believe. You could decide to get married or not married. You decide on the major decisions in your life. But some people, they have a habit of blaming Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for everything. Whenever things go wrong, it's God. But if something was good, they come and they say it was me. They like to take credit when things go good. But if things go wrong, they blame it on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Today, some people, perhaps, they ended up marrying the wrong person. This happens. I know some people, they ended up marrying the wrong person. Suddenly, this person is bad and horrible and suddenly becomes shaitan, the one they were married to. You had the choice to marry this person. When it was all lovey-dovey, he wasn't shaitan at that time. But now that you're fighting, now that you're not agreeing with one another, now he became shaitan all of a sudden. And the same goes for the men with the sisters. We choose. We make the choices in our life. And the religion of Islam, it guides us on what kind of choices we make. Yes, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa tells us, marry this person and don't marry this person. This is a good quality to look in for, and this is a bad quality. Rasulullah, in one hadith, he tells the Muslims, إِيَّاكُمْ وَخَضْرَاءِ الدِّمَنِ. Be careful from khadra' al-diman, the green grass that grows in a toxic place. Have you seen, there are some places, a wasteland, and there's grass growing on it. This is what khadra' al-diman is. They tell Rasulullah, Ya Rasulullah, what is it? He says, Al-mar'atu al-hasna fi manbat al-su'. A beautiful lady in a bad environment, in a toxic lifestyle. This is the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa. In another hadith, Rasulullah says, من زوج كريمته من فاسق نزل عليه كل يوم ألف لعنة. the one who gives his daughter, allows his daughter to marry a fasiq, someone who does not have a healthy relationship with God. Yes, maybe this guy pulled up with a Ferrari. Maybe this guy has the money in the bank account, but he's fasiq. He doesn't pray. He doesn't have a relationship with God. Is this going to be a healthy person to marry? Is this going to be a healthy person to build your life and the life of your future, the life of your children and your grandchildren with this person? Now, yes, sometimes we all make mistakes. Maybe someone could be guided. Maybe someone, you come and you guide this person and this person changes. I'm not talking about that type of person. I'm talking about someone who publicly disobeys God, someone who does not have a relationship with God. Is this person healthy? Is it healthy to have a relationship with someone like that? Of course not. When it comes to marriages, we see that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi and the Ahlul Bayt, they had one vision and one perspective, and many of us, we have a different vision and different perspective. Today, many people, when it comes to marriage, they focus on looks. They focus on appearances. From the husband and the wife, everyone's focusing on looks. You see the guy, he's going to the gym. I have to get ready to get married. The girl is preparing herself, only focusing on the looks. And when it comes to the wedding, and when it comes to the venue, and when it comes to everything regarding the marriage, it's all about appearances. What are people going to say? Are people going to say this was a nice wedding? Or are people going to come and say, these guys were... This is all what we're worried about. This is what we're concerned about. And we ignore the essence. We ignore that which brings real happiness and real love and real compassion within a marriage. Focus on the akhlaq. Focus on the manners. Focus on the iman. Focus on a God-conscious relationship. This is what's important. You do that, you will please Allah, and Allah will place the happiness in your hearts. A lot of people, we chase happiness thinking that we're going to achieve it. But if God does not want you to be happy, you could have millions and millions and you won't be happy. This is why in the dua we say, Ya muqallib al-qulub. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is muqallib al-qulub. God could make you happy in a simple life. Do you need to have the extravagant lifestyle? Do you need to have that big house to be happy? Go and look at the marriage of Amir al-Mu'mineen and Fatima al-Zahra. The most fruitful marriage. The most blessed marriage. A marriage that they sacrificed everything that they have and everything that they had, but they were the happiest couple. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Another salawat, please. You see the Ahl Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala. Today we see the Quran and the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, they teach us simplicity. That's what brings real happiness. We're chasing happiness. We're chasing the money and the dollars and the cents and the cars and all these things, but we're not reaching happiness. You want to be happy, have Allah in your life. You want to be happy, do that which pleases Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah will place that happiness and that contentment in your heart. And when you have that, then nothing could bother you. Nothing could hurt you. Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, he brought his family with him. The companions of Imam al-Hussein, they brought their families with them. Why? Because those bonds and those relationships were based on nearness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Find yourself a wife, find yourself a husband that will wake you up for Fajr prayer. Find yourself a partner that will tell you, do that which is good and refrain from that which is haram. That is the perfect person to find. Find yourself a partner that will remind you of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is what will bring real happiness, my dear brothers and sisters. This is the life that you should try to seek. Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, he brought his family with him because the relationship was based on love of God, and that's what brought them together. And same with the companions of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. Look at the companions of Imam al-Hussein. Some of them, they came with their families. Some of them, they came with their children. It wasn't all men. Some people have the idea that the companions of Imam al-Hussein were all men. No. The companions of Imam al-Hussein, you had men, you had women, you had the young, you had the old, you had the children that were all united over the love of God and the love of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. That's what brought them together. One of the companions of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, the commander of the right flank of Abu Abdullah, Zuhair ibn al-Qayn. Zuhair ibn al-Qayn, Imam al-Hussein gave him the flag and he commanded the right flank of the army of Abu Abdullah. And the left flank was Habib ibn Mudahir, and in the center was Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas. You know, Zuhair ibn al-Qayn, he almost didn't make it in Karbala, if not for his wife. His wife, Zuhair ibn al-Qayn, he left Mecca and he was going to Iraq. And Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, he also leaves Mecca and he's going to Iraq. But Zuhair ibn al-Qayn was trying to avoid Imam al-Hussein because he knew what was going to happen. Everyone knew what was going to happen. So he would go where Imam al-Hussein is camping, he would start moving. And then once Imam al-Hussein camps, once Imam al-Hussein moves, he would start camping. Until, subhanallah, in one of those stops, Zuhair ibn al-Qayn ended up camping near Imam al-Hussein and the caravan of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. And Imam al-Hussein, he had a mission that will bring pleasure to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that will give you eternal satisfaction. So throughout his journey, he would reach out to people. He would call this person, come and join us, come and join us. Not because he needs supporters to fight for him, but because Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam wanted to take people, as many people as he can, to paradise. So he sends a letter to Zuhair ibn al-Qayn. He sends one of his companions, he tells him, go and give him this letter. One of his companions, he goes and he gives the letter to Zuhair ibn al-Qayn. Zuhair ibn al-Qayn was sitting and eating. And the letter from the messenger of Imam al-Hussein comes, and Zuhair ibn al-Qayn is hesitant. Should I go? Should I not go? This is a very difficult decision, because if I go, that means I'm going to be killed. If I go, that means I have to sacrifice everything. Today, right now, we're thinking about it. Yeah, of course, go. How many of us would go? How many of us would answer the call of Imam al-Hussein? How many of us are willing? They tell me Imam al-Mahdi has emerged and he's calling you and you're going to be killed. How many of us are willing to go? Zuhair ibn al-Qayn answered. Zuhair ibn al-Qayn, at first he was hesitant. His wife, she tells him, Ya Zuhair, this is Abu Abdullah. This is Imam al-Hussein, the grandson. There's only one grandson of Rasulullah, and he's calling you. How could you hesitate? Zuhair ibn al-Qayn, he takes the letter, he kisses it, and he begins to walk towards Abu Abdullah. He walks to Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. He stands and he talks to Imam al-Hussein for a few moments. He comes back to his wife. He tells her, we are joining the caravan of Abu Abdullah. We are joining Imam al-Hussein. If not for his wife, Zuhair ibn al-Qayn would not have been from the supporters of Imam al-Hussein. This is why they say on the 10th of Muharram, Dalham, the wife of Zuhair ibn al-Qayn, she had a servant in Karbala. She goes and she tells the servant, I want you to go and cover the body of Zuhair ibn al-Qayn. Zuhair had been cut up into pieces. She tells him, I want you to go and cover the body of Zuhair. Go and throw a kafan on the body of Zuhair. He comes back to her. He tells her, I saw the body of Abu Abdullah. It was more mutilated than the body of Zuhair. She tells him, then go and cover the body of Abu Abdullah. You see, these are the families. This is this lady that motivated her husband. She took her husband to paradise. And she made her husband become Zuhair ibn al-Qayn. There was another family. This family was the family of Wahab al-Kalbi. Wahab, my dear brothers and sisters, was a Christian. He lived his whole life as a Christian. He and his mother and his newly married wife. He just got married. While they were traveling with Imam al-Hussein, They see Imam al-Hussein, they see the akhlaq, the beauty of Imam al-Hussein, and they join the religion of Islam. Subhanallah, Imam al-Hussein is not only for the Shia. Imam al-Hussein is for everyone. They join the religion of Islam on the day of Ashura. His mother, she comes to him, she tells him, "Oh Wahab, we came this far. We came with Aba Abdullah. Look where fate has brought us, where we are in Karbala with Imam al-Hussein, and there's an army of 30,000. They want to kill the grandson of Rasulullah. Oh Wahab, if you want me to be pleased with you, if you want me to do dua for you, I am your mother. I want you to sacrifice your life for the sake of Aba Abdullah." Wahab tells her, "Of course, my mother. Of course, I'm going to sacrifice all that I have for Aba Abdullah." But his wife was holding on to his hand. She tells him, "Oh Wahab, we just got married. Oh Wahab, we just got married and you want to leave me? Who am I going to be left with? I'm going to be left all alone." He tells her, "I have to go and defend my Mawla. I have to defend my master, Aba Abdullah." He goes, he begins to fight them courageously. One side, his mother is encouraging him, and the other side, his wife is discouraging him. He doesn't care. He fights courageously. After a while, he hears his wife saying, "Ya Wahab qatil dun at-tayyibin, abna' at-tayyibin." Oh Wahab, fight for this holy household. Fight for Aba Abdullah. He comes back to her. He tells her, "What has happened to you? Why did you change your mind?" She tells him, "Ya Wahab, la talumni, inna wa'iyat al-Husayn qatta'at niyata qalbi." Oh Wahab, don't blame me. I saw Aba Abdullah standing next to the tent and calling out, "Ala hal min nasirin yansuruna, ala hal min mu'inin yu'inuna." Wahab, he goes out into the middle of the battlefield. He begins to fight them courageously. They kill him and they throw his head. They kill him. He falls to the ground. His mother, his wife, she runs to him. She runs to him and she begins to cry next to the body of Wahab. She says, "Oh Allah, I ask you to grant me the shahada, the same way you granted my husband Wahab the shahada." As she was there next to the body of her husband, a man comes and strikes her on her head, and she becomes one of the first ladies to be killed on the day of Ashura. This was another family, a young man, Amr ibn Ju'ad al-Ansari. This man, his father had already been killed in the battlefield. In the beginning, in the early hours, he was killed. He comes carrying his sword and carrying his armor. He comes and stands in front of Aba Abdullah, a young boy. He tells Imam al-Hussein, "I want to defend you as well. I want to fight for you." Imam al-Hussein, he looks at him. He tells his companions, "This man's father was just killed. Send him back to his mother. She cannot deal with the loss of her husband and her son." The young boy begins to cry and he tells Aba Abdullah, "Ya Aba Abdullah, inna ummi hiya allati albasatni la'matu harbi." It is my mother who sent me to you. She told me, "Go and make my face illuminated in front of Fatima. Go and fight for Aba Abdullah." The boy goes back to his mother crying. His mother holds his hands and she brings him to Imam al-Hussein and she tells him, "Ya Aba Abdullah, atuthkal ummuka az-Zahra biwaladiha wa la uthkal biwaladi." How can your mother be bereaved of her son and I do not lose my son? I want my son to be killed just what will happen to you. This young boy, he carries his sword. He goes in front of the enemies. Everyone would say who they are, what their name is, what their heritage, which clan they're from. But this boy, he begins to say, "Amiri Husayn wa ni'mal amir. أميري حسين ونعم الأمير، سرور فؤاد البشير النذير، علي وفاطمة والداه، فهل تعلمون له من نظير. My master is Hussein, the son of Ali and Fatima. Is there anyone like him? He fights and he is killed in the battle. His mother, she goes and she stands over the body of her son, and she says, "Oh my dear son, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala clear your path and illuminate your path the same way. Now I can stand in front of Fatima al-Zahra alayha salam." After Imam al-Hussein saw that his companions were all killed, he stood and he began to call them name by name, but there was no reply. These were the companions of Aba Abdullah. He begins to say, "Ya Abtal al-Safa wa ya Fursan al-Hayja, ma li unadikum fala tujibun wa ad'ukum fala tasma'un. أأنتم نيام أرجوكم تنتبهون. قوموا عن نومتكم يا كرام، وادفعوا عن حرم الرسول الطغاة اللئام. ولكن صرعكم والله ريب المنون، وإنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. لما رأى الصبط أصحاب الوفا قتلوا، نادى أبا الفضل أين الفارس البطل، وأين من دوني الأرواح قد بذلوا. بالأمس كانوا معي واليوم قد رحلوا، وخلفوا في سويد القلب نيرانا.